Hey guys, it's me, Dax Moy from daxmoy.com. I'm back here today with another quick message for you, just about, I guess about the simple science of sleep. Now, there's a lot of deep science, okay, kind of when we get into looking at sleep science, there's a long way that we could go, but I don't want to take you down that route today. I want to keep it very, very simple for you and make it really, really easy for you to understand why depriving yourself of sleep or not getting enough either quantity or quality may be actually keeping you from all of the results you most desire from your training and your nutrition plan. And that holds true regardless of whether your goal is fat loss, whether it's hypertrophy, gaining muscle, whether it's athletic prowess or whatever it is, whether it's to do with looking better, feeling better, performing better. I guarantee you that your sleep is going to be a limiting factor for probably a good 90% of all people who are simply not getting enough of the right kind of sleep at the right time. Okay, so first and foremost, here's why sleep is important. It's a much bigger picture than most people understand. Okay, so imagine every night when you go to sleep, picture it this way: some really nice simple graphics for you, some simple analogies, right? Every single cell in your body during sleep is primed for the optimum hormone response that's going to bring about the very, very, very best levels of repair. So look, all of that training that you do and all of that nutrition that you eat, it only goes part way to actually healing you up and creating the body that you want while you're awake. What really happens is that when you're asleep, your cell is essentially sending out signals to the rest of your body, and those signals are essentially saying, hey, I'm running short on certain nutrients. So it might say I'm running short on magnesium, or I'm running short on calcium, or I'm running short on, it may be running short on certain fats or proteins or whatever it is, right? The cell requires something, and ultimately it's the interaction between your cell and your hormones during sleep that allow most of this to occur. So the best way you can imagine it is this. If I get rid of that, is that between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. your body has an optimum, what's called a physiological repair window. Okay, physiological repair window. Now, it's not exactly these times, but it's close enough for us to understand that these are important times to go to bed. If we look at the hours of 2 a.m. to 6 a.m, we have our optimum psychological repair window, or psychogenic repair window. Now, here's the best way for you to understand this moving forward. If we've only got a 4-hour window to get our optimum physical repair, and you're not getting to bed until midnight, you've lost fully 50% of all of your ability to recover from all of that training that you did, to recover from kind of any of the stresses and the strains that have gone through your body on a physiological perspective, so on a functional perspective at the cellular level. Right, so midnight, if you go to bed at midnight, it only leaves your body 2 hours during sleep to do the bulk of its repair. Now, that doesn't mean that between 2 and 6 you're not doing any physiological repair. It doesn't mean for the rest of the day you're not, but what I'm saying is this is your optimum window. So if you neglect your optimum window, you are actually leaving your bank account, your body bank account, empty for a long period of time. Okay, so if you're getting disturbed sleep between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m, you're getting a reduction in your psychogenic repair window. Your psychogenic repair window, the best way to imagine this is when your body carries out the bulk of its dreams, okay? So what are dreams for? Well, dreams are there to put into filing cabinets all the little mental stresses and mental activities that occurred across the course of the day. And as these dreams take place, hopefully what's supposed to happen is you should wake up with a sense of peace, a sense of calm, that all's well in the world and you can get on with life, okay? So you can take on the next set of pressures that may approach you. So any disturbance here can lead to psychological stress, starting the day already anxious in fight or flight mode. Any disturbance here can lead to problems with your body recovering from training. So there's no such thing as truly overtraining, but there is under recovery. Okay, so it doesn't matter how clean your diet is, it doesn't matter how well you're training, how you might have got the best person in the world to design your training plan and your nutrition plan. If you're not getting sleep, you're robbing yourself of the ability to repair your cells. Okay, and here's another way to look at things here. Why should we be interested in cells? Well, it looks like this. Cellular health is responsible for organ health. Organ health is responsible for systemic health, right? So the various systems. So basically, if the cells of your heart get sick, for example, then essentially your heart starts to get sick. If your heart gets sick, then the system that the heart feeds, mostly if we talk now about the cardiovascular system gets sick. And if the cardiovascular system gets sick, the person gets sick, right? So if we now start to think of it at a very, very simple level, every time you deprive your cells of their ability to repair by staying up late, you deprive your body of the ability to reach its optimum health. Okay, so what can we do about it? Well, there are several things that we can do about it. First off, we can pay attention to this optimum sleep window. Okay, because look, here's what it looks like. From the minute you wake up in the morning, or from about 4 or 5 a.m., we start to get cortisol increasing like this, right? The stress hormone. We call it stress hormone, but it's there for good too. By about noon, it should have reached its peak, and then start to drop like this. Okay, until kind of 4 o'clock the next morning when the cycle begins again, right? That's really what it's supposed to look like. Well, if you have a lot of stress in your life, and you're drinking lots of stimulants, and you're watching films late into the night, and you've got loads of sources of light around you, your stress levels remain high. And if your stress levels remain high, then all of the hormones responsible for you recovering, for you actually getting all of those nutrients to the cells, they can't do their job correctly. Okay? So what we're after then is maximum ability to wind down, the maximum ability to bring your stress levels down so that you can sleep better. And why do you want to sleep better? So that you can recover better. Okay? So what can we do about this? Well, there are several things that we can do. One of the things that we can do, and we can do straight away, is we can reduce stimulants. Okay, now on the elimination diet, there's no caffeine anyway, but if you do happen to drink caffeine, whether that be in the form of tea or coffee or green tea or whatever, then try and make it a rule that you don't drink those stimulants beyond about 10:30 in the morning. Okay? So basically, if you're going to have your morning cup of coffee, if you really feel you're the kind of person who needs that to get you going, then drink any of your stimulants before 10:30. And the reason why is really simple. Caffeine has a half-life of about 8 hours. Okay? Which means, let's say, right, so you've got 100% of caffeine at the moment you drink it, clearly. 8 hours later, so let's actually do that differently. 8 hours later, you still have 50% of that caffeine in your body. Another 8 hours later, you still have 25% of that caffeine in your body, right? So, we want to make sure then that as the day wears on, we're not too caffeinated. We don't have too much caffeine going on through the system, because it is going to interrupt the quality of sleep. It's going to be very, very hard to bring you down. So there's number one, reduce your overall stimulants. Number two is we want to reduce the amount of stressors. Okay, you could call these stimulants as well, but stressors also include things like reading email all the way up to bed. Okay, there's a lot of reasons why you don't. Have you ever had that really crappy email just as you're getting ready to go to sleep, and just before you go to sleep, that's all you can think about? That email from the boss, that email from a friend who's let you down, that email from someone who wants to repossess your house. So keep away from email stress and stuff for at least 2-3 hours before bed. Right? Well, in other words, there's still enough time in the day to deal with them and get rid of them. Keep away from overstimulating and stressful things like movies and documentaries and the news that may actually lead to stress just before bed. Right? It might be great to watch an action movie and then go to bed, but there's part of your brain that's still identifying with that action movie. Action means switched on, and switched on means it's going to be harder for you to get to sleep. So reduce those kind of stressors also. What else can we do? Reduce the amount of light. Reduce your light sources. Reduce the overhead lights that you use in your home as the evening wears on, so that you don't have an overhead light source. There's part of your brain that recognizes an overhead light source as being like the noonday sun. I know that sounds really odd and a bit silly, but it's true. Okay, so if you've got a source of light directly overhead in your living room, for example, and you're watching the TV, your brain is responding to that as if it's still daytime. And obviously, if it's still daytime, you must be getting a lot of your cortisol and the stress hormones that keep you up and awake. So try and have things like lamps that dim the light in your room anyway, right? So that progressively across the course of the evening, your room gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. If you're going to have lamps, it's better, you should have some floor lamps as well, some light sources that sit down near the floor. And again, just this whole, I guess, sunrise to sunset mimicry, the idea that the light source is getting lower and lower. This is also true about your going to bed ritual, right? So, have a going to bed ritual. So, increase your going to bed rituals, right? Well, how do we increase the going to bed ritual? It's really, really quite simple. Have a process whereby you go to bed and you read, for example, or you meditate, or you breathe, or you do any number of other things. But you don't simply go straight from a lit living room, movies and all the rest of it straight into your bed. Have a little bit of chill out time, a bit of time that actually brings you down, so to speak, as opposed to just going from one environment to the next. What else can we do? Well, we can also, on top of this, we can take our zinc and our magnesium. Zinc and magnesium taken in about a 90-minute window just before bed can be really, really powerful in terms of helping your body get the maximum amount of nutrients once you do doze off, and also helping you get to sleep. Zinc and magnesium are actually useful in that. But so are things like valerian, passion flower, and hops. Okay, all of which can be really, really good. I guess semi-neutral soporifics. What does that mean? They're things that help you sleep, but without making you drowsy the next day. You're not going to wake up the next day and feel all groggy like you've taken a sleeping pill. They're just things that work on your body to help you kind of take the tension out. And finally, you should have a breathing routine, right? A breathing routine. Take a breathing routine to bed with you. And if you take a breathing routine to bed with you, you will notice an almost immediate improvement in the quality of your sleep, in the depth of your sleep, how easy it is for you to go off, and how long you stay asleep in the evening. You're going to find it much, much easier to maintain that balance. Okay. Without a breathing routine, it can be, particularly when you are feeling stressed already, it can be really tough to get yourself to sleep. So work on this breathing routine, and in the next video I'll actually show you exactly what I mean, and that will actually help you massively in switching off. So look, what I'm hoping to have gotten across in this little video here is that sleep is a lot more important than most of us rate it. Okay, we generally tend to think of sleep as, it's just one of those things, and hopefully I'll get enough, and if I don't, I'll catch up on it, in a few days. We also generally tend to think that if we're getting our 8 hours sleep per night, then we must be getting enough. Well, it doesn't work that way, and these windows really, really do matter. If you're on split shifts and stuff, anyone who's done a lifetime of split shifts, like nurses and doctors and firefighters and security guards, and they'll tell you just how easy it is to get run down, how your immune system gets affected, how your mood gets affected. Right, by having your sleep disturbed regularly like that, that's a perfect example of sleep disturbance in new mothers, for example. They'll tell you how much it affects not just physiology but psychology as well. How easy it is to get the blues and kind of get negative thinking and even full-scale depression. Okay, so what I'm getting at here is, if you want to get the best possible result from your training, don't leave it all down to the training. If you want to get the best possible result from your nutrition, don't leave it all down to the nutrition. The nutrition and the training are simply, they're stimuli, right? But the stimuli can't be taken in, the program can't be rewritten, the new body can't be rebuilt without a decent quality of sleep. So there you go. I'd really love to hear your feedback on that and hear your thoughts. I'd really love to know if you're one of these people who are getting by on too little sleep, if you find your mood is being affected negatively, if you find your results aren't maybe coming as quickly as you'd hope. Now, just one little addendum to this whole thing, a little thing I'd like to add into it is this. I've done experimentation over the years with clients both of the company and online, and we did a big test, and without changing anything, without changing nutrition, without changing training, without changing supplementation, by just clients that were already on a program, without changing it by any other element, all we did was we asked them to get to bed by 10 o'clock 5 nights of the week. Okay, so we said 5 nights out of 1 week we want you to get to bed by 10, ideally 5 continuous nights. On average, those people lost between 5 and 7 pounds in weight. Okay, 5 and 7 pounds in weight. They got leaner, their skin cleared up, they had a whole bunch of other positive benefits. But particularly, this weight thing is really interesting. What it shows is that your body is ready, willing and able to give you the changes that it makes, but you've got to work with it. And if you insist upon staying awake when your body is saying, hey, go to sleep so that we can repair those cells. If you stay awake, then the cells can't get repaired, and if the cells don't get repaired, then you yourself are not going to get the result that you're hoping for. So look, I'd suggest giving that a go, like 5 days, just 5 days, get to bed by 10, 5 days over the next week, and then feed back to me, tell me what kind of result you get from that. I'd really love to hear about it. For now, it's been me, Dax Moy from daxmoy.com. Take care.